on Funniest Pets and People.
What's your favorite cookie?
A man's best yes man.
Oh, you really want it?
A bride gets a little burning love. A dog gets happy paws. And this cat pauses to relax. A dog with eyes in the back of his, well, you know. And a blushing bride pileup. It's the show that will have you sit, stay, laugh, and beg for more. Welcome to Funniest Pets and People. Okay, now these are my kind of videos, but then again, I am easily amused. Some artists are best on the radio, like Don and Phil here. Sure, they sound great, but they just never excelled at stage moves or choreography. Some things are better left to the imagination.
No, I really couldn't. No, don't make me. No, I can't. I tried. No, I got to watch my weight. No, please.
His eyes and his waistline are saying no. But his stomach and his head are saying yes.
Come on, I don't want to climb, please. I have to lose it.
In a war of wills, the stomach wins every time.
I cannot. No, please. No, why do you tempt me so? You're foul to tempt me. Do not tempt me. Please don't make me. Oh, come on, don't make me eat it again. I can't. Okay, maybe the last one. That's it.
Mittens dreamed of one day seeing the ocean. He didn't care if it was the Atlantic or the Pacific. Heck, he'd even settle for the Gulf of Mexico. He wanted to watch the waves crash against the sandy shore and feel the salty mist spray in his face. Until then, he has the bathroom and his imagination. Thankfully, Mittens has a really good imagination. Growing up is never easy, but Peter here is having a particularly difficult time of it. He misses the carefree days of his puppyhood. He caught a few minutes of a science fiction movie about time travel and thought he would give it a whirl. Peter hoped that if he spun fast enough, he could go back in time. Poor Peter. He can't distinguish between reality and scripted programming. He thinks anything he sees on television is a documentary. Of course, he's not alone. Most dogs do.
Oh my God, he's biting me. This is so funny. This dog, I swear to God, he's gonna make me money.
Basil didn't trust conventional mail delivery. Nope, he preferred to send his correspondence through the city's underground water delivery service. See, he felt it was more dependable. And it was, at least on his end. Every time he flushed, away went his letter. He just could not figure out why Aunt Geneva hadn't written back. Through the hoop, over the thingy, over the red jump, over the aqua jump, over the higher aqua jump, and again through the hoop. Mr. Ruffles has trained her to go all the way through the obstacle course. Good boy, Mr. Ruffles. Now, at your wedding, of course, you want everyone to think you look hot. But not this hot. Go ahead and undo your collar because it's time for Funniest Pets and People Unleashed. Cowgirl Rebecca loved reading the newspaper, but she hated licking her fingers to make sure the pages separated. By not licking her fingers, she missed a lot of interesting articles as well as some ads for super sales. Lucky for her, she had Callista. Yep, ever since Callista volunteered to lick her fingers for her, Rebecca has been a regular ace at current events and hadn't missed any of the sales. Good news for both of them. The grocer is having a big sale on carrots tomorrow. It was a good try, and a lot of creativity certainly went into trying to pull it off, but there wasn't a circus on the planet that was going to believe that Jimmy here was the two-faced dog from Borneo. Regardless, Jimmy, you get an A for effort. And for where your eyes are placed. This move is called the Polka Tornado. Roll out the ladies. It's one thing to get knocked down by a tree, but when you get beamed by a hanging basket plant, you might as well check your dignity at the door. If you can get past the hanging basket plant, that is. Now, to outsiders, they may have seemed like an unlikely duo, but when Fuzzy and Feathers got together, they were inseparable. Well, most of the time. First, the bride fell for the groom, and now this guy is falling for everybody. They said there wasn't a cage that could hold him. Natural-born earthshaker he was. Why, Luke here had already broke out of more cages than most hamsters see in a lifetime. Luke figured he'd gnaw his way out in less than 10 minutes. Of course, Luke didn't figure on the Caginator 9000. Yes, the Caginator 9000. Luke tested, owner approved. Coming soon to a pet store near you. Mom said Dad never listens.
It goes in one ear and out the other.
She has said at least 1,200 times. Well, Junior heard Mom say it, so he knows it went in one ear, and when it came out the other, he was gonna see it for himself. This was the last thing Jenny thought would happen at her wedding. I mean, come on, her new husband is a wine steward. Jenny should have listened to her mother. She wanted her to marry a dry cleaner. Being a direct descendant of a lion, which of course is the king of the jungle, Kimba the kitty felt that it was appropriate that he get to have his very own throne. It's good to be king. Coming up, the natural order of things. And a daring doggy dentist delicately deals with damaged dentures when we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Doesn't matter what the clock says because it's always playtime somewhere. Buster and Melora were still at it. Day in and day out, they loved to wrestle. Didn't matter who won, heck, they didn't even keep score. They just loved the exercise and the fun. Why, it seems like only yesterday when they had their first wrestling match. Their first wrestling match, and they knew they were a perfect match for each other. BFF. Best friends forever. While most cats are content to give themselves baths with their sandpapery tongues, Midnight here liked the deep, deep cleaning only a vacuum could provide. Midnight is so clean, you could eat off her, but we wouldn't recommend it. Mom was wrong when she said Sebastian couldn't take 2 steps out the door before getting totally dirty. He clearly was about 5 steps out the door this time. Okay, first, hypnotize your cat. Then, tell him he's a circus acrobat. Oh, this is hours of fun, you guys, at parties or really any time. Now, once you have perfected cat hypnosis, take it further by hypnotizing your cat to think he's a squirrel. With cat hypnosis, there isn't anything you and your cat can't do. There won't be a dry eye in the house. Do yourself a favor. Hypnotize your cat today. Although most of us outgrew it when we were 5, dogs never tire of playing patty cake. Okay, Tripper, one more time. Patty cake, baker's man, bake me a dog biscuit fast as you can. Roll it and pat it and mark it with P and put it in the oven for Puppy and me. Okay, that's enough of that. They call it a super balloon because of its size, not because of its strength. Told you. They put training wheels on her bike and made sure there were no obstacles within a 50-yard radius, and they even told her to go slow. But the only way to totally protect a kid is to wrap them in bubble wrap. Despite the recent growth in the veterinary dentistry field, Puddles here couldn't find a veterinary school that would admit birds. So, sadly, her passion for animal teeth can only be a hobby instead of a profession. Although you don't really need your teeth to dance well, it still is a major distraction when they pop out. Next time, just do a gummy dance. After a night on the town, there is no place better than a day spa. Not yet accepted by mainstream massage therapists, dog massage is starting to make quite a name for itself at some of the most expensive spas in the country. And while it may be the cat who gets your tongue, it is the dog who gives it a deep tissue massage that increases blood flow to your taste buds as well as exfoliates chapped lips. It is only a matter of time before dog massage is as popular as shiatsu or deep tissue. And remember, you heard it here first. After a day of mousing, it isn't uncommon for the rotator cuff to need a little work. Oh, yeah. Yep, those mice better be careful. A little more of this, and Mitzi will be right back on the prowl.
Every morning. Here we go.
It isn't enough to simply brush. You really need to get in there and massage those gums as well. And luckily for Bootsy, Dinky's feline toothpaste now comes in mackerel, salmon, and ahi tuna. Yum. After a full year of rooting around in the mud, Oinkers couldn't wait for spring break so he could root around in the sand. He's earned it. You gotta love spring break. After a full day of exercise, steam baths, and nutritious meals, it was time to cap off a day of vanity with some stimulation of the old hair follicles. What good is a kempt house when you have an unkempt roof? Am I right, people? Coming up, you must be this tall to drink here. And a romantic kiss for the ages. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. It's like regular fun, but we add 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. Shadow lost 7 balls, 4 sticks, and 3 chew toys in the high grass last year. Yep, couldn't find them. Simply disappeared. So this year, Shadow decided there would be no high grass. He would block the sprinkler from his patch of the yard. Okay, that'll teach you to provide cover for Shadow's things. How you feeling now, Grass? Thirsty, I bet. Huh? Yeah. There was a time when polite young men would lay their jackets down for a young lady of a certain station in life to walk on and prevent her dainty little feet from getting wet. Here comes Dad to set the chivalrous record straight, but will he get there in time? Ouch. Looks like wet bottom 1, chivalry 0. Normally, Jack and Lindy don't like the water all that much, but they'd heard a tale of a mythical creature called the catfish.
Look at these guys. There's Lindy. There's Lindy driving. Good girl.
Prunella was tired of being a solid green bird. Sure, she was nervous, but those golden highlights really bring out her eyes, and her wings have never looked better. New hairstyle, new outlook on life. Abs are darn lootly right. Turnabout is fair play. This tree decided it was time to sprinkle the dog for a change. And the dog, for one, is loving it. If you blow out the fancy candles on your cake, your dreams will come true. And if you blow out the tablecloth in time, you will still have a house in which that dream can come true. They're not just for girls and boys. Dogs and cats also like their toys. There's an old feline expression, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Whiskers here has taken that to heart. Sleep well, mousiekins, sleep well. Now that Kirby wasn't a puppy anymore, he was expected to help around the house. And one of his chores was the laundry. Oh, he had the enthusiasm, all right, but he just couldn't get a grasp on the folding. You keep at it, Kirby. You'll get it.
Here, let's do it again.
You know, you'd think you'd need hands to operate a hand puppet, right? But Marcel hasn't let that get in the way of a big-time puppeteer career. You see, Marcel is proof positive that a love for the craft can outweigh any dexterity issues. Marcel is truly a puppet master, and we think that is absolutely perfect. Coming up, a stray bride parade. When we return, the funniest pets and people. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Well, Carly and Carrie dated him, but it was Samantha who ended up marrying him. And now they congratulate her. All the way to the ground.